Folks, welcome. And with all of the backlash, with all of the outrage over this new woke PC version of Snow White, which isn't even Snow White anymore, it's just the same title with more or less about the same number of people and just a completely different story. Even the son of the original director has come out bashing the remake as, quote, woke, pathetic remake. And we're going to get into this from the New York Post. I saw the story. I had to check it out because online on YouTube, it's just been getting eviscerated. And I love every bit of it because I love when wokeness dies. It's my favorite stew. So let's check it out. The son of the original Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs director has bashed Disney's forthcoming live-action remake of the film as a pathetic do-over that would have his father and Walt Disney turning in their graves. David Hann, whose father by the same name directed the beloved fairy tale animation that was released in 1937, told The Telegraph that Walt Disney Studios' upcoming adaptation, which has already been blasted for being politically correct after leaked images showed the seven dwarves reimagined as magical creatures of all sizes and genders, is insulting and woke. Yeah, Peter Dinklage threw a fit, basically them stereotyping dwarves. So what did they do? They got rid of dwarves. Good job, Peter Dinklage. You whine, bitch, moaned, and complain, and you literally got rid of the people you were trying to defend. That's more or less what the woke communism kind of does. I mean, it's a whole different concept, and I just totally disagree with it. I know my dad and Walt would also very much disagree with it, he told The Telegraph. Studio bosses have destroyed his father's creation, said 91-year-old Hann of the adapted edition to his dad's famed work, according to the outlet. The Mouse's House's modern take on the animated original, which was based on the 1812 Brothers Grimm fairy tale, will see a character named Jonathan in place of Prince Charming, 22-year-old Hispanic actress Rachel Zegler as Snow White, and dwarves that Disney has said avoid reinforcing stereotypes. There have also been rumors that Disney has ditched the film's classic song, Someday My Prince Will Come. Well, of course, I mean, at this point, you've destroyed the story. I mean, even the soundtrack doesn't, it doesn't even make any sense. Folks, this is what wokeism does. They can't create anything. It's just a mind virus. It's communism. It's literally communism, and it's destroying everything around it to remake it in its image because it can't actually create anything on its own. It's just a parasite. So I think it's pathetic that people feel that way. These are the art forms in the world of film today, Hann said of the update, which he predicts will make young viewers, especially those who have never seen the original, misunderstand the film. Meanwhile, her successor as the titular character Zegler has blasted the original storyline as being extremely outdated, with a prince whose behavior is similar to that of a stalker. Like, think about that. They made a story about this guy trying to save a woman, and now ultra feminist crazies and this woke mind virus has literally convinced these people that the same prince is now a stalker. Like think about that. This is what wokeism is, folks. Up is down, left is right, black is white. War is peace. I think that's one of the mantras of Antifa. It's literally on their pamphlet. The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with the guy who literally stalks her. He's trying to save her, I think. Weird, she said during a red carpet interview with entertainment news outlet Extra TV. So we didn't do that this time, she said. And by the way, if that's the way that you're going to think about the story, basically I can guarantee that this woman or young girl will have nothing but broken relationships, possibly multiple marriages with kids out of wedlock, and at some point she's going to die alone with a dog. Zegler, who made her film debut as Maria in Steven Spielberg's 2021 remake of West Side Story, defended the changes to the upcoming Snow White, which sparked fierce criticism from Disney fans, including Game of Thrones actor Peter Dinklage, who has dwarfism and bashed the film early on for its portrayal of the disability. People are making these jokes about ours being the PC Snow White, where it's like, yeah, it is because it needed that. No, you didn't need to shit over all over someone else's work, because you can't come up with anything. The upcoming remake was written by, Barbie director Greta Gerwig and directed by Mark Webb. I didn't even know that, but yeah, that makes perfect sense. I mean, at this point, like, that's the thing. When you see certain people, directors, possibly actors, it's like you already know what the film's going to be. I don't even need to see the title. I don't need to see the story. I know what they're going to put in it. So I already know the film. Han told the Telegraph of his father's creation, which, when adjusted for inflation, remains one of Disney's highest-grossing films, making $997 million at the domestic box office. The original film was done with good taste when it was written, and I disagree with the whole new concept, but I know Disney's getting into that mode. Han, who worked as a designer at Disney himself in the 90s, also called it a disgrace that Disney is trying to do something new with something that was such a great success earlier. They changed the stories, they changed the thought process of the characters, they just aren't the original stories anymore. They're making up new woke things, and I'm just not into any of that, he told the Telegraph. I find it, quite frankly, a bit insulting that they may have done with some of the classic films. There's no respect for what Disney did and what my dad did. I think Walt and he would be turning in their graves. And, that's one thing that all of these woke fanatics overlook, is all of you are, like she said, oh, we needed to change the story. No, you didn't. You could have come up with a new, because this is basically an entirely different story. Like, isn't it? The character isn't the same character. She's not doing the same thing. The seven dwarves aren't dwarves anymore. They're not even doing the same thing. And, they all look completely different now. Prince Charming is no longer Prince Charming. Now he's some guy who's not, quote unquote, stalking her. It's literally not the same story. So you went out of your way to take someone else's material, trash it, and then put it back out. Like, you are the most absolutely disrespectful artists like there ever are. That you have no respect for artwork. You have no respect for anyone else's ideas or property. You just shit on everything else just because you think so. But you can't actually create anything of value or worth on your own. You're just leeches and pariahs. Han's father worked as an animator for Walt Disney Productions for decades, creating a slew of Disney shorts in the 1930s before serving as supervisor director on the original Snow White and Bambi animations, which debuted in 1937 and 1942 respectively. So yeah, this is the new Snow White, the Colombian actress, I believe, because of course, what was it? Skin as fair as snow or white. I can't remember the exact words, but I mean, part of the reason she's Snow White is because her skin is so fair. Like, the stories from Germany, they're pretty white there. So now that they've done this, do the Germans have a right to get mad? Like, are you canceling them? Are you appropriating their stories? I mean, which way does this work? However, as the film approaches their centennial anniversary, Han told the Telegraph that studio bosses should be coming up with new film ideas rather than reimagining old hits. No, they're not that smart. And they're woke communists. They shouldn't be taking a classic and rewriting it in their own image. Pick on something else. Create new characters if you're going to do this, but don't destroy or try to destroy something that is a classic and is a beautiful piece, he said. Han recalled how Adriana Castellotti, the original voice of the fairy tale heroine who passed away in 1997, would be terrified to find out her character would one day wouldn't be saved by Prince or dreaming about true love. He told the Telegraph that Castellotti was very proud of her role in Snow White, so lovely she lived that role for all her life. And guess what? This chick, this disgraceful idiot, and all her woke friends and the Barbie director are just taking a massive shit all over everything that all of you guys did to make Disney what it is. And now they're having to sell off pieces of Disney because they're just absolute idiots that keep trashing their base that made it what it is. But hey, this is wokeism. They'll try, but I don't think it's going to work in the long run. Liberalism in and of itself will destroy itself on its head. And in the end, I think we're going to make America great, as I think we should, and I think we're going to. So, folks, with that said, hey, if you like the video, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, put it out there into the wider world. I appreciate the support. I'm going to try and bring you some new stuff as soon as I can. And with that said, take care of your friends and families, and I'll see you next time.